Hello, welcome. So I've been working on the space a little bit every day, and I've been making pretty good progress. It's been getting better, looking better every day, and I think I'm pretty happy with the way the green screen looks right now. So in this video I'll be beginning to watch a new TV show and giving my review, thoughts, commentary, whatever you want to call it. Now, it's not a very well known show, but it does have kind of a cult following, and I actually have watched the show before. It's probably been about 10 years since I watched it, maybe even more. Well, I say show, it's actually a documentary series. I'm going to be rewatching the Louis Theroux documentaries. I'll probably have a graphic for it, one of these places. I know that it might seem like a bit of a strange, random choice, but just to give some of my reasonings for it. In university, I would watch a lot of stuff, and I remember being particularly interested in documentaries. And Louis Theroux was just the king of documentaries at that time. But like I say, it's been a long time since I watched them, maybe about 10 years. So I've probably forgotten quite a lot of the things that are in them. So in a way, it's like I'll be rediscovering them again. And I found that rewatching things that you first watched when you were 19 or 20 and then going back and rewatching them 10 years later, you have a different perspective on them. I feel like, I'm not sure if it's life experience or maturity, but there's things that I watched when I was in my early 20s that I've rewatched now, and I realized that when I watched them before, everything just went over my head almost. Also, in terms of this format of video, I feel like a documentary is the perfect thing to kind of commentate on and review, because there's just so much substance in them that there's a lot you can talk about while you're watching it. And there are so many conundrums that you can kind of explore. And Louis Theroux does get into some quite thoughtful topics, even controversial in the later series. I mean, having said that, the first episode is about aliens, so I suppose he had to start somewhere. But I think Louis Theroux himself is just great. He has this kind of charm about him, and he's not afraid to ask tough questions, but at the same time, he will put up with quite a lot and go along with some quite crazy things, while at the same time keeping this kind of really polite British decorum about him.
I like a pair of tits without being rude. I like a pair of tits that don't want to be crude. A nice pair of tits if they're big or they're small. I like a nice pair of tits in doing it all. A nice pair of tits, I can see him oh, I can't do tits, it's too rude.
So those are just some of the reasons why I've picked this particular show. I did have a quick look on YouTube, but I couldn't see anyone doing this kind of thing. I don't really like to use the word reaction, and I don't really think it's accurate to what this video is going to be. But I had a look for Louis Theroux review, rewatch. Actually, that would be a good name for this. Louis Review instead of Louis Theroux. Or maybe not. But I couldn't find anything. I think I found maybe one video where someone's watching a Louis Theroux video. So on the one hand, maybe nobody's going to watch this video, but on the other hand, maybe it's like a niche market that I could get into. There is always that balance between what you want to do and what you think will be popular, but sometimes it's nice just to not worry about that and just make the video, which is what I'm doing now, whether or not anyone's watching. So this is on Netflix, I believe. I'm not sure which countries it's not in or what it is in, but if you haven't seen it before and you want to watch it, or if you just want to watch along, maybe you can check where you can acquire this if not from Netflix. Because this is owned by the BBC and I know how strict they are on copyright, unfortunately I'm probably going to have to limit this video to almost no footage from the actual show. I might have the occasional clip, but apart from that it's just going to be probably photos and stills with the audio in the background, and even then it will be heavily cut down, and hopefully that will be enough. I'm hoping it will be enough to classify this as transformative and commentary as it is designed to be. So I think we've covered everything. Like I said, the first episode is UFOs.
dog was licking me too from its eye socket.
They do that. You should see what a pack of coyotes would do to this thing, man.
Okay, off to a good start already. Oh wow, I completely forgot about this having a proper intro. Here we see the many adventures of Louis Theroux. I feel like the Weird Weekend series was a lot less serious and irreverent than his later documentaries.
The southwest of America is an enormous stretch of uninterrupted desert.
It's pretty amazing how there are such big stretches of America with just nothing in it.
For extraterrestrials.
Wow, look at young Louis Theroux. He seems so chipper and enthusiastic.
Welcome to the Earth Protectorate. I'm Thor Templar, Lord Commander of the North American Sector.
Thanks very much. I'm Louis Theroux from BBC Two.
Welcome.
It's a famous intro, first intro we have.
Please forgive me if I'm starting from real basics, okay? Because I'm coming from a perspective where I don't even know that extraterrestrials exist, to be quite honest.
So we're getting our first taste of his polite, disarming, yet effective interrogation technique.
This is called the bodyguard.
Can I touch it?
Yes, you can pick it up and look at it. One of our key items, which is a special product which has precious metals in it.
This is scientific?
Yes.
Yeah, of course it is.
5th century science.
Well, that's right. This is so advanced. This works with your mind. True technology does not deal with physical light bulbs, things popping around, electric shocks.
You heard it here first. A physical light bulb is not technology, apparently.
How much do these cost?
These are about $350.
$350.
See, sometimes I'm unsure if it's themselves they're lying to or other people. You know, if they actually do believe this stuff or if it's just all a complete fabrication.
I read something in your catalogue about a alien mutilator.
This is a converted type, but it works again on mental energies.
I mean, if you aim it at someone's head, technically all guns can work on mental energy, which is blowing your head up.
We have killed extraterrestrials. These insignias are definite kills. This is
Let's see those.
These kills, actually, this is an advanced insignia. Each one of these is 10 kills. These are 20 kills total over the years of extraterrestrials.
See, I'm not even saying I don't believe in alien life out there, or even unidentified flying objects, but when it comes to this random guy shooting aliens in the head with a magical gun.
These are harmful, hateful people that rape, molest, steal children, terrorize lives, and make men cringe. They make men soil themselves, and these are no people to be respected.
Did he just compare making someone soil themselves to raping them?
You know, you can live in a delusion all your life. You can believe in a state-mandated belief system.
So if I said to you I had trouble believing some of this stuff, you would regard me as somewhat delusional?
Basically, yes.
Of course, of course. I like the use of music. See, the wife here, I'm not sure if it's the wife or just his business partner, but she has like a smirk on her face, and I'm not sure if it's because that's just the way she looks or if it's because she knows that it's all ridiculous, really.
Now, how is this going to help the cyborg helmet?
The replacement for
That looks like a bicycle helmet. Once again, she looks like she's trying not to laugh.
No, there's nothing in here. We just better check.
That's actually good trigger discipline by Louis. Glad he checked.
Now, you wouldn't shoot a ghost with a real gun. You'd shoot a ghost with a ghost gun.
Obviously.
So I'm thinking very, very hard. I'm thinking very, very hard of a laser beam just sort of blowing up Liz's head. Is that that's about... Liz, how does it feel?
I don't feel anything.
Nothing at all?
It's generally only effective in alien presence.
Really?
Only Louis Theroux could make blowing up someone's head sound so nice and amicable.
She saw a huge aluminum-colored thing hovering over their corral and pasture.
Really?
It was feet off the ground. She didn't have her glasses on, and she couldn't make out the exact shape, but it was a large, bright, shiny aluminum object that was hovering over her corral.
Oh my god.
It sounded disgusting. I had to see it.
I like how he included that part of the story, like that made it make sense, you know. Didn't have her glasses on, so she couldn't see it properly.
Is this an actual type of alien?
It's called a Nordic type because they do resemble the
How do you know?
genetic type of human.
So nothing very strange about this guy. He looks just like a tall guy with long hair, right? I mean, maybe that's just a normal guy. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
You'll know, almost too perfect.
Really?
These are the
so like
that's
Dolph
your typical.
Lundgren.
Yeah, I guess.
Louis can crack jokes with anyone.
This guy really, I think, reminds me of the
They're just taking anything supernatural and saying they're aliens.
Space aliens then?
Well, they lived in a faraway place in Magonia, you know, beyond the clouds. The leprechaun form, believe it or not, has been reported here in the San Luis Valley.
Really?
Many of these forms, like
Bigfoot.
the guy, for instance, or the Bigfoot, have been reported for many.
I mean, I'll give it to him. The world would be a much more interesting place if these creatures were around.
Have you always been interested in that?
Look at Louis jamming on his guitar like that.
I had an experience when I was 7 with non-human.
So I don't want to just make fun of the guy or say that he's lying, because I don't know if that's necessarily true. I do know that with ghost sightings, alien sightings, people hypothesize that they could just be mental episodes or hallucinations, which, I mean, would still be real to the actual person. Have you ever had it where you kind of wake up half asleep from a dream and you'll see a coat hanging from a coat hanger, think that it's like a figure? That's what people say. Apparently things like night terrors and ghost sightings can be attributed to. So I definitely think there's more to it than just someone lying and someone telling the truth. And if someone has that experience, it still can be traumatizing to them. So I don't just want to mock them, even though I don't necessarily believe them.
So we feel that it's time for someone on this planet tried to meet visitors who are coming from other civilizations, just in a diplomatic effort, just to say hello, how are you, what can we learn from each other,
Yeah.
what can we do to assist you.
So these people want to make friends with the aliens, they want to make communication with them, and they think they'll be friendly and peaceful.
That we will not discriminate between any kind of life form from any other civilization, no matter where they come from. We think it's high time that racism ended.
I think it's a bit more than racism when they're literally a different species to you.
We could see something.
We could see something. We're also going to place...
Percentage on it if you can.
I would say it's at least 50-50.
50-50?
At least 50-50.
That's good. That's pretty good.
I'm going to guess that it's not going to be 50-50 and they're not going to see anything.
We'll be stopping at the Area 51 gate and teasing the guards.
Seems like a good idea.
Pass the gate, because if you do, they will arrest you.
We've only got about 3 minutes to tease the guards.
Yes, those are the guards up there in the white Bronco, the white Cherokee, or
Wow,
Bronco.
wow.
They use both.
I don't think you'd catch me doing that.
You can see it
So
at the top.
they're protecting the base because there are flying saucers on it, right? Good, good. How do we make them harass us?
We wave to them. Hi!
Such a bad idea.
Drop stones onto the base.
Louis Theroux is just in for it.
Actually, on the line right here.
Can I chuck, if I go like that, what do I, look at this.
Louis,
Well, it's on the line.
Yeah, it definitely says use of deadly force authorized.
that's when I would
He's
leave.
such a wimp. Renee, come over here.
No, thank you.
You being such a whippalini.
Louis has such a mischievous streak about him.
Yes, you do. This is how, they hate this more than anything. You can be shot. Let's do it. Okay, quick.
Jesus.
They could have snipers. I feel like I'm going to be shot any second. You know, if he comes down here, he might confiscate the camera. So if
Yes,
he comes
he
down
might.
here, we'll run for it.
Yep.
The thing about Louis Theroux is he's so ready to just throw himself into whatever his documentary subjects are into.
How do we prevent him from taking the camera?
Oh my god, they're actually coming to get them.
They're coming for the camera.
I'm wondering what was going through Louis Theroux's mind there. If he thought it would be good for the show, if he got arrested, or if he just genuinely got into it that much.
To get some UFO watching guidance from Glenn Campbell of the Area 51 Research.
Glenn Campbell,
But
like
there
the soup.
was one small problem.
I heard on the way up that there was some sort of a little bit of bad blood between.
I vaguely remember this part.
here. So Joe, that's not going to be a problem, is it? Nothing to worry about.
Nothing to worry about.
Really? Is that something you like talking about? Because I sense that you really want to open up about it.
That's classic Louis Theroux, trying to get in there, into his mind, trying to pick his brain.
And Glenn Campbell, you get the fuck out of here.
Yes.
I said, yes, I'm going. Any particular reason? And he says, because I hate you, bald-faced fucker.
He said you
Oh,
called
I
him a
remember.
bald-faced fucker.
Yeah, I probably did. He was going to take over our business, you know, and
Really?
I wasn't going to stand for that.
Look,
I don't have lunch. We're going to get some lunch.
I can't
Have
stop.
lunch.
I can't pass
Why
it.
not?
No, that's the twilight.
Louis trying to play devil's advocate again, encourage people to go over the line.
Was it an alien from outer space? Was it a craft from secret base? Or maybe it was just two guys from Wisconsin.
So what are you doing out here?
Louis in full sass mode.
Yeah.
I'd contacted a San Diego-based UFO cult, and they'd sent me a nice patch in the mail.
It is a nice patch.
At the present time,
Wait a minute, Kevin's
Project
gay
Ace
is...
would be an interference with what we must focus on.
That-
Later I found out what they meant.
Oh my god, I didn't even clock that when I watched it when I was younger. Jesus. I thought Heaven's Gate, that sounds familiar. And then they're the guys who had that mass suicide. Well, that's crazy that he reached out to them and they got back to him. I forgot all about that bit. So many little gems in this show. I remember this guy. I think we're all Louis Theroux in this situation.
Stand by. Information to follow. We are ready to transmit.
It's wrecked to this bubbling.
Ugh.
I know it's tough, Louis. You can handle it. I wish I had a sharper knife.
Oh, viewers can't. I don't think you can watch this. It's too disgusting.
Could you open that for me?
Censorship by Louis Theroux.
There was something I admired about the people in the UFO subculture. Their weird faith and imagination. Whatever gets you through the cosmic void is all right by me. Just don't lay a finger on my rectum.
You know, I kind of had the same feeling as Louis on the alien community. Particularly this alien community. I don't find it any stranger than hardcore religious beliefs, and they don't seem like bad people. I mean, the ones that aren't scamming people. Do you find the whole idea of that kind of area around Roswell really intriguing? I've never been there, but I would definitely like to go one day, obviously no time soon. But like I say, I'm not convinced by the whole aliens walking among us thing. But I don't really have a problem with the gift shops about aliens, the t-shirts and things like that. I don't have a problem with any of that. I suppose it does put the area kind of on the map. When you think of that area of the world, you think of Roswell and aliens. So it's helped out the local towns, I suppose. So like I said, that was a little bit of a light-hearted one by Louis Theroux. They definitely get more intense, more controversial. We definitely have some wilder episodes coming up, and Louis definitely gets more confrontational as the series goes on, and he's dealing with more extreme stuff. And like I said, I'm not sure if anyone's actually going to watch this. I hope so, because it's more of a personal project of mine. I'm not sure if I'm going to watch every episode. I'm definitely going to watch more, but I might skip some episodes, I'm not sure yet. And I hope if you're a Louis Theroux fan, you got some kind of enjoyment out of this. If you're not a Louis Theroux fan, I hope you discovered an interesting documentary to watch, perhaps in your own free time. But that's the first episode of Louis Theroux's Weird Weekends out of the way. I'm glad you made it through this video. Through Louis Theroux this video. Anyway, see you next time.